it's Sue here, and it's Max the monkey, and it's Tiny Tots together again. Now Max is very keen to sing a song. We haven't sung it for a while. He's got the whole world in his hand because he likes clapping, and we're going to sing that one, and then we're going to sing He's Got the Birds That Fly, okay? And then you have to fly, flap your wings and fly. Okay. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the birds that fly in his hands. He's got the birds that fly in his hands. He's got the birds that fly in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Yeah, Max really enjoyed that. He says thank you for letting him. He hasn't had a clap and a sing for a while. So, today we're thinking about birds. I've got my owl here. And we're going to say a rhyme about an owl first. Now Max, you sit here with Mr. Owl for me. Whoops. Okay, because I need both my hands today to do this. So it goes, I'm a wide-eyed owl with a beak for a nose. I've got tufts on my ears and claws for my toes. I sit up in a tree and I watch for you. Then I flap my wings and I say, twit-too, twit-too. Should we try that again? Okay, Mr. Owl? I'm a wide-eyed owl with a beak for a nose. I've got tufts on my ears and claws for my toes. I sit up in a tree and I watch for you. Then I flap my wings and say, twit-too, twit-too. Is that right, Mr. Owl? Yes? Good. Now I need my fingers for this one as well. So you're going to sit over there with Max. And you might know this little rhyme. Two little blackbirds. Here we go. Not very big blackbirds here. Two little blackbirds sitting on a wall. One named Peter, one named Paul. Fly away, Peter. Fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter. Come back, Paul. Shall I try that one again? Two little blackbirds sitting on a wall. One called Peter, one called Paul. Fly away, Peter. Fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter. Come back, Paul. Now our story today is about some blackbirds. They weren't blackbirds, they were called ravens. So let's see what happens in today's story. Max, you're going to come and help me now? Hold the book for me. Here we go. Once upon a time there was a very bad king. A king called Ahab. And he did lots of bad things that made God very, very sad. So God asked a man called Elijah, there he is, to go and tell Ahab that what he was doing was wrong. And God said that he would stop the rain from falling if he didn't. So Elijah went and he passed the message on to Ahab, who just laughed at him. That is, until the rain stopped coming. And now Ahab was very angry with Elijah. So God told Elijah that he better go and hide for a bit. He wanted him to go and live in the desert. But how will I survive in the desert, said Elijah. There'll be nowhere to get any food, and there's not much water. I'll sort that out, said God. There's a stream, that's a little tiny river, that runs through the middle of the ravine I'm going to send you to. You can drink from that, and I've asked some of my feathery friends to help you. Now Elijah didn't know quite what God meant by that, but he trusted him, so off he went and hid in the ravine, in the desert. On the very first morning, one of God's feathery friends flew down to Elijah with some bread and some meat in his beak. And Elijah ate it all up and was full. And then, at tea time, the feathery friends came again with more meat and more bread for Elijah. And this happened every day that Elijah was there in the desert. God looked after him by sending the ravens with bread and meat for him. So Elijah hid safely and never went hungry. Wow. That's a really good story, isn't it? God even got the birds to do what he wanted and go to Elijah. That was good. Right, so that's our story for today. We'll finish off again with he's got all of the birds in his hands. He's got the birds that fly. In his hands he's got the birds that fly. In his hands he's got the birds that fly. In his hands he's got the whole world in his hands. Bye from Max for this week, and bye from me. So, bye.